Thank you for tuning in to this week's Oregon Minute. Today we are interviewing Steve Peotter, CEO and President of Oregon Community Bank, but soon to merge with McFarland State Bank.
Thank you, Emily. It's great to be here. I'm a big fan of yours and the Oregon Minute. I've enjoyed the past discussions you've had with many wonderful local people, Village Trustee Glish, Village President Carpenter, Superintendent Bergstrom. It's been great to watch. I'm thrilled to be part of today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Steve. I appreciate that very much. So I wanted to talk about the merger between the two banks. So can you tell us how this merger came about?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So our organization, about 10 years ago, started on a journey of growth. Generally speaking, we're very optimistic people. We remember yesterday, we celebrate today, but we plan passionately for tomorrow. And one of the plans that we were exploring and wanted to put into place 10 years or so as we grew as an organization was to find another similar-minded community bank that we could merge with as we grew to continue to provide the great client experience that we do, but do it in a larger capacity across more communities. So as Oregon Community Bank looked for partners and McFarland State Bank considered partners, we found each other, and it's been fantastic.
Awesome. So can you tell me about, I know we first heard the news here at the Observer about the merger between McFarland State Bank and OCB last year. So can you tell me what led up to that decision?
So we looked externally as we talked to other community banks. We looked to find the right partner and have it be the right time. We looked at probably 3 or 4 other community banks that had approached us and said, perhaps you're the right bank for us to merge with. We were excited about those conversations and just couldn't find the right fit. You know, we want to be selective with who we partner with and who we decide to go forward with. You know, McFarland State Bank's approach, Oregon Community Bank's approach, very client-centric, very colleague support, believe in robust giving in the community. You see Oregon Community Bank as donations inside of Oregon, inside of McFarland. And we saw McFarland State Bank make those same community investments in Oregon and McFarland and the other communities that we serve. And really, when you look at combining organizations, it really comes down to the people of both organizations. And both cultures were built on client service, colleague support, and investing in communities. We're thrilled with where we are.
So how does this merger, how does it impact customers? I'm sure there's a lot of people who still have questions.
Yeah, so great question again. You know, the first thing we like to say to clients is really what remains the same from an organizational standpoint. All of our locations continue to be open, right? So wherever you banked last month, you can bank today. You know, the service levels that we have for clients, putting our clients' needs first and foremost in everything we do, that continues for the organization. And then from a colleague standpoint, you know, who our clients see and who they talk to when they come to the bank or when they call the bank or when they go through drive-through, it's the same people. So those pieces related to client service excellence, those all continue forward. So that remains the same. The part that changes is really, you know, locational convenience. You know, we now have 11 different facilities across 7 communities where all of our clients can bank. Then I'd also think a little bit about additional investments in technology that we can provide for our clients. Both institutions were very forward-thinking, investing in technology. But together, we can do even more of that. So, you know, just last week, we launched the new mobile banking environment and online banking experience for clients of Oregon. And then this week, we launched that across the full rainbow. We call it the rainbow, all different banks and the different community colors we're in. So now all of our clients can bank at all of our locations and use all the same technology, which leads to a really good experience for our clients.
What about employees and staff?
So many times when people hear bank mergers, they think that one of the leading topics is closed locations, lay off staff, increased efficiencies. We are the exact opposite of that. So since we've announced the combination of the 2 organizations, McFarland State Bank, Oregon Community Bank, to create one community bank, we have more colleagues today than we ever have before. Our team to serve clients is, I would say, 15% more people today than it was just if you took the 2 organizations together. And really, it's not just about having more people, it's also giving our people the opportunity to grow their career. I'd say we've probably had 24 promotions inside the organization to increase responsibilities, different areas to make impact for our clients. One of the things that we talk about is promote early and expect great things. This worked well for us. I think our colleagues enjoy it. Our colleagues are very excited about new opportunities, ability to impact the organization. So from a colleague standpoint, how is it affected? We have more colleagues than ever before, and we have colleagues advancing in their career. We're pretty excited about that story.
Yeah, and that was my biggest. I did see in the story that my editor wrote last year, my editor Jim, that there would be no layoffs or downsizing. That people would still be able to grow inside the company. So, take two. So between now and last year, of course, now we have the COVID-19 pandemic. So it has very much uprooted everybody's lives, businesses. How has COVID-19 impacted the merger, if at all?
It's certainly been, I think it was the lieutenant who sat here and said that the pandemic's affected everyone, and I agreed with the lieutenant. The one thing that's, I guess, a little bit unique from a banking perspective and how we approach things is on an annual basis. We have always reviewed all the plans that we have and the policies that we have to make sure that those plans or those policies are up to date. And one of the plans that we review on an annual basis is the pandemic plan. So on an annual basis, we would get together with our leadership team and talk about what does our pandemic plan look like, what actions would we take, how would we get through it. I never really thought we'd have to implement that plan. I felt, for the 25 years I've been doing that exercise, never really thought it would come into play. But I'm sure glad we had it. So an ability to execute on that plan. Now, did the plan tell us everything to do? No, but it's certainly easier to build off a foundational plan and adapt as you go than turning on the lights and looking at each other and saying, what now? Mm-hmm. So from an organizational standpoint, I think we put our plan in place, we pivoted where we needed to, and we adapted. I think one of the things that I've been amazed by from our colleague standpoint and from our client standpoint is really the resiliency that those two groups of people have shown. And really that's a community statement as well, because our clients and our colleagues are in the communities we're in. And that resiliency or that adaptability to keep things going and really, the phrase you always hear is unprecedented or unique times. I mean, nobody ever really was thinking that this was going to be something that we'd have to deal with in 2020. So one of the things that came forward to help all of us get through the pandemic was really the Paycheck Protection Program loans, which were government-assisted financing to keep employers keep their folks on their payroll. And so at our organization, One Community Bank, we put out about $100 million of Paycheck Protection Program funding. Those dollars supported about 12,000 jobs. So if we think about that, there's roughly 12,000 people in Oregon. So that funding that we provided to clients basically could have kept the whole village of Oregon employed. So it's affected everyone. We've been excited to do our part to try to get through it together.
So then you mentioned a little earlier in this conversation, you've launched some online experiences, and I've seen some things posted on social media as well, like, some changes that are coming to OCB because of the merger. So what maybe visual and really internal changes can customers expect to see in the coming months as this merger rolls out?
So we're big believers in social media. We find that as a direct way for us to communicate with clients, potential clients, as well as the communities that we're in. So, we've used social media to celebrate the announcement of the merger, the successful completion of the merger, the rollout of One Community Bank as compared to the historic names that we've had. And we'll continue to use social media to talk about other changes that are upcoming. One of the things that we've always enjoyed doing on social media is really celebrating the generous investments in communities that we have. And these are, simplicity's sake, the big check photos of us in front of the water tower, or the video that we did with the Friends of Oregon School District announcing our support there. So we'll continue to use social media to celebrate wonderful causes that we support with the hope that there's a multiplier effect there, right? That if we talk about something that needs support, we celebrate our support of it, that other folks will hear about it and then choose to participate as well. So those are some of the things you can expect to see on social media.
Mm-hmm. And then what changes, signage-wise or, inside the bank? I know that I saw there were different colors. There was a change from that orange, color scheme to blue.
So we're believers that color and community matter. So in all of the bank locations that we have in the different communities we serve, the community color is part of that client experience. So for example, we're orange in Oregon, will remain orange in Oregon. We will update our One Community Bank client signs to reflect One Community Bank Oregon. in a wonderful community like McFarland. We'll be one community bank in McFarland, where we'll have Blue and McFarland outside the building. We'll do the same in Stoughton. We'll do the same in Sun Prairie. So we're excited about that. We fundamentally believe that to be a community bank, the name of that community needs to be part of the experience, and we embrace that and we celebrate it.
Mm-hmm. And that was just going to be one of my questions. Could you remind me have you gained any new locations as a part of this?
So our hope was always that we would be able to serve the markets around the lakes in Dane County and also support the city of Madison based on the locations we're in. So we really go around the circle, right? So whether we start in Waunakee, we touch on Middleton, we swing over to Oregon, we stop down in Stoughton, over to McFarland, and then up into Sun Prairie. Those are all the communities that we're in just Dane County. And then we have our folks up north, or as we call them, the Northern Star communities, where we have 3 locations in Adams and Marquette County, which is in Adams, which is in Grand Marsh, and then in Oxford. So pretty good representation. So we like to think of it that someone could wake up in Oregon, drive to Sun Prairie to work, and then perhaps go spend some time up north in Adams, and we would be there with them all the way. So.
All right. So I think that answers all of my questions, Steve, but I'm wondering if there's anything that I haven't touched on that you would like to address.
One of the things that we've always believed in as an organization, between serving clients, supporting colleagues, and investing in our communities, and one of the questions that I think some people would have for us is, will we continue to robustly invest in the community of Oregon, in the community of McFarland, and the other communities we're in? I think with our additional size, our additional capacity, we'd like to think we can increase the giving that we do. So to anyone out there that's watching this or that knows of us on social media or whatever, reach out to us, reach out to me. We're passionate about supporting great causes, and we'd be excited to help support whatever cause your folks wanted to talk about with us.
Because the OCB has made some donations to the Library Capital Campaign Project. I believe there was some to the Oregon Youth Center. Can you remind me of some of the other projects?
Yeah, so we've been, we were excited to support, really we started with the water tower project when that project started going forward. So whether it was the pump house, which is where that project started, the water tower, the youth center, the food pantry, J.C. Park, and then our ongoing plan to talk about what level of support we'll be at for the library. Mm-hmm. So, Library Director Andrew Sway is a very passionate individual. We've had lots of discussions about how to help support the library. We look forward to making our announcement of that support in the near future. Those are all great causes and all great pieces. And we just talked a lot about the Oregon projects that we support, but clearly we support wonderful projects like that across all the communities we serve. Mm-hmm. So we love supporting projects all over. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, once again, I think that concludes everything I had. Thank you so much for coming on the Oregon Minute this week, and best of luck to OCB on the merger.
Emily, it was my pleasure to be here. I look forward to watching future episodes of the Oregon Minute.
Okay. Thank you for tuning into this week's Oregon Minute. Tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m.